Hey guys, welcome back to our video. In today's video, we're going to be learning about while loops. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video and feel free to comment. So let's go into the topic. A while loop is used to repeat something until it's true. Let's take a deeper look. What does a while loop mean? A while loop is used to repeat something or a block of code until it's true. So let's say if it's false, it's gonna break it out or exit out of the loop. So that's how these while loops work. And now while loop have infinite number of iterations. So how? Let's say you give a statement which is always true. So it's gonna keep repeating the thing and keep printing it until your memory is full. So that's why while loops are kind of like infinite iterations. Now let's see a diagram to represent while loop. So this is the diagram which I was talking about. So if we see this diagram, it's kind of like somewhere it's kind of similar. So yeah, this is the for loop diagram which I already used, but this is while loop kind of thing. But now let's recap it. So this is the start of the while loop. It goes to the condition of what we give. So if it's true, it executes or runs the loop body or the while loop's body. And now it's gonna go all the way there. And now it's again gonna reach the test condition. So if it's true, it's gonna do this again. And now if it's not true, it's gonna enter false and go to while loop ends. So before this, I even want to talk about the topic called infinite loop. So let me explain in this diagram. So the while loop starts over here and you give the test condition over here. So infinite loop only happens when you give a test condition which is always true. So it will go into the true body and then execute the loop body again, which is like, let's print this. Then it's gonna print this, and now it's gonna go again. So it's gonna go this all the time. So it's kind of like a circle. So that's how these infinite loops happen. So yeah, this is how the while loop body happens. After seeing this diagram, we can understand how while loops work. So now let's take an example how while loop work. This time I'm gonna take a variable named x. I'm gonna assign the value 0. So x equals 0 while x is less than 6. So until x is less than 6, it's gonna repeat this code. Print x. Now if we just take a guess, it's gonna go to a loop called infinite loop in which it's gonna be printing x, which is 0 0 0 all the time. So that's kind of a problem. It's gonna stop printing the 0 until the memory is full, as I said at the beginning. To prevent this, we have to increase the value of x. X plus equals 1. And now if I run this program, it have to print from 0 to 5. As you see, 0 to 5. So that's how these while loops work. And now let's see some more examples. But this time we're gonna take the user input. So to take the user input, you gotta create a variable and assign something like input followed by brackets. So this is how you take the user input, and now you just type string. Let's say enter your name. Enter your name. And now it's not gonna do anything because we just are asking the user. So to make it do something, we have to use a while loop or loop. So while name equals nothing. So let's say if the user click enter and just does not type anything, so that's gonna use this one. Print you did not type your name. So that's what it have to print when the user do not type his name. You didn't print your name. So that's how this should work. But now if we again take a guess, it's still gonna go to infinite loop, because if you just click keep on entering, it's gonna print you didn't print your name always. So to prevent that, we have to ask the user again. So let's ask the user enter your name, and let's say they enter their name. So now we just have to print their name. Let's use formatting a string. So this is how you format a string. You use the letter F and you can use the double quotes or single quotes, which is basically a string. Your name is, if you want to use a variable, you use floor brackets. So I want to use it, so I'm going to use floor brackets with name. And now let's run this program. And now it's asking me name. Now let me click enter, which means I didn't write any name. As you see, you didn't write your name or print your name. You didn't write your name. So until we click enter, it's gonna say us this. So this time we have to say code. And now your name is code, so it exited out of the loop. How do we know that it exited out of the loop? Because while loop starts from here, and this is the code or the statements it have to apply to it. But now it entered out of the loop, so that's why we can understand this is the outside of the loop, and now we can understand how this entered out of the loop. So when we write our name, it's entering out of the loop. So that's how these while loops work. This time let's take kind of like a game kind of thing. Okay, so this time we're gonna use the variable fruits. Fruits equals, now this time we are again gonna take the input from the user. Enter your favorite fruit. And now this again, as I said, this doesn't do anything, and now we gotta write the code. While fruits, so wait, as I said, we have to create a game. So let's say Q to quit. So whenever they type the word Q, it's gonna quit. So well, fruits equals Q. So this is basically says that while fruits equals to Q, but we want the user to not say. So when they say, you gotta quit it. So until they not say Q, we have to use the not statement. So not says that this statement says that until the user does not type the Q, you gotta keep asking questions. So let's say print enter your fruit, and now we gotta say what they like. So now F with these brackets, let's say string, with now let's say you like with the floor brackets the fruit. And now that's how this should work. And now we gotta ask him again. Let's ask him again. And now the while loop takes a job and repeats it, and now we just have to print by when he just quits it or press Q. Now if we run this program, as you see, now it's gonna ask me enter your favorite fruit, Q to quit. Let's say apple. It's gonna say you like apple, and now it's asking me again. So this time let's say banana. As you see, I typed it, and now it's asking me again. Let's type Q. See, it says by, so it's printing by. So it exited out of the loop. So that's how these while loops work. And now we understand how these while loops work. So let's take a review or an overview of what we have learned in the loops. So let's review even the while loops and also the for loops. So this is an overview or recap of what we have learned in the loops thing. So let's see about for loops. For loops are used to repeat a block of code and have fixed number of iterations. It can loop through strings, numbers, lists, and sequence of characters. So this is an example of for loops. So if we just see this and run this, it's gonna print from 0 to 10. So this is the example which I used in my before video. If you want to check out, you can go check out, it's always there. And now let's see about while loops. While loops are used to repeat a block of code. It's kind of like for a loop and does not have fixed number of iterations. So while loops, the only difference is it does not have fixed number of iterations. And now here are the example. As you see, I just created a variable named I. While I is less than 6, print I and I plus equals 1. I use this one so that it does not go to the infinite loop, which happens quite often in while loop. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.